MCL News this morning, President Buhari calls for protection of Nigerians, foreigners living in South Africa. Cash transfers, federal government alarmed over extortion of beneficiaries. Police order stun guns to reduce firearms misuse. Under 23 AFCON, Nigeria draws Cote d'Ivoire, Zambia, South Africa. Good morning, welcome to MCL News. I am Eziniwafo. Now the details of the news. The federal government has raised concerns over reports that some beneficiaries of its 5,000 naira monthly stipends under the conditional cash transfer scheme are being shortchanged. The senior advisor to President Buhari on social investments, Mariam Uwais, revealed this on Thursday in Abuja at the launch of the third-party monitors for the National Social Safety Net project. Uwais said that the case had been reported to relevant security agencies, while the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission (ICPC) will be involved in cases where state officials are allegedly involved. Also, the National Coordinator, National Social Safety Net Coordinating Office, NASSCO, Iowa Apera, said that involving civil society organizations as third-party monitors will ensure transparency and accountability in the cash transfer program. The third-party monitoring is designed to have state-based civil society organizations with experience and technical capacity that will monitor the cash transfer program in the states we operate. It will also serve as a mechanism through which beneficiaries and their communities can gain confidence in their ability to get quality service, he said. The National Cash Transfer Program is one of the 4 social investment programs anchored by the federal government. The program is designed to deliver cash transfers to beneficiary households in order to improve their consumption, health, and nutrition services, among others. The Nigerian Police Force says that it will be reducing the misuse of firearms by officers and will rather acquire electromuscular disruption technology-based weaponry, popularly known as taser or stun guns. This was made known by the Inspector General of Police, IGP Muhammad Adamu, in his opening speech during a conference with senior police officers held Thursday. The event was held at the IGP Conference Hall, Force Headquarters, Abuja. He also said in the speech that the police have arrested a total of 1,151 suspects between October and August 2019 to date of high-profile suspects nationwide. It should be recalled that federal government rejects UN Rapporteur report of violence in Nigeria. The United Nations Special Rapporteur described Nigeria as a pressure cooker of internal conflict, a description emerging from the Rapporteur's supposed observation of excessive use of lethal use of force by the police and military. President Muhammad Buhari on Thursday began a visit to South Africa with a call for the protection of Nigerians and other foreign nationals living in the country. Buhari condemned the xenophobic attacks in Johannesburg, South Africa's capital, which led to the looting of shops owned by foreign nationals. He demanded that measures should be put in place to prevent the reoccurrence of the attacks. He condemned in strongest terms attacks against Nigerians and other African nationals living in South Africa, including the looting of their shops and businesses and burning of their properties. Buhari said this at the start of the meeting with South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa. Responding, Ramaphosa repeatedly apologized over the attacks, reiterated his government's deep regret at the incidents of public violence. President Buhari and his counterpart Ramaphosa later went into long-planned talks aimed at bolstering trade ties and political cooperation to boost their economies. The 3-day state visit by Buhari to South Africa is the first by a Nigerian leader since 2013 and had been planned before the wave of violence. A town hall meeting between Buhari and Nigerians living in South Africa is scheduled for Friday to listen to the experts' experience and showcase efforts to support them. Senator Rochas Okorocha says that the Senate must begin to make sacrifice and aid in cutting down the cost of governance by having just one senatorial representative instead of 3 per state. Mr. Okorocha, the senator representing Imo West Senatorial District, argued that the cut in the cost of running the legislature during plenary on Thursday in reaction to the report presented by the Committee on Finance and National Planning on the 2020 to 2022 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MCEF) and Fiscal Planning Strategy Paper (FSP). He also asked that tax incentives should be given to charity organizations who are willing to take children off the streets and give them meaningful lives. The former Imo State Governor asked the Senate to look for new ways to proffer solutions that will help generate funds to support the needs of Nigerians, to create jobs and put food on the table of the masses. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, announced on Thursday that the federal government will have to lay off workers to be able to meet a wage bill of 580 billion naira needed to meet labour's demand on the new wage. Ngige told labour leaders in Abuja that the sum is what will be needed by government to pay the consequential adjustments as demanded by labour. Newsmen report that the minister's announcement is the latest in the increasing drama over payments of the new wage. A bill for a new minimum wage was signed into law by President Muhammad Buhari on April 18th. Ngige was speaking when the leadership of the United Labour Congress (ULC) paid him a courtesy visit in his office. Government and Labour have been locked in an endless tussle over modalities for the payment of the new wage. Ngige said that federal government is avoiding a situation where it will have to lay off workers, noting that throwing workers into unemployment will add to their burden. The minister pleaded with Labour to accept the consequential adjustment from levels 7 to 17, adding that government has only 3 months left to implement the new wage. He stated that government will not promise Labour what it could not pay, noting that no worker deserves to be owed salary. He restated that implementation of the new wage had since commenced for workers on grade level 1 to 6, adding that the development had helped those on the lower cadre in the civil service to move up. The president of UCL, Joe Ajero, appealed for payment of the new wage, stressing that the private sector should also be compelled to pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage. He stated the need to review obsolete laws that were not in tune with present realities, noting that a situation where some private sector employers pay their employees 10,000 naira and 15,000 naira is unacceptable. Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tolling, has urged the newly promoted first female air warrant officer, AWO, Grace Gaba, to be a worthy women ambassador in the armed forces of the Federation. Tolling admonished her not to let her commanding officer down for promoting her to the enviable rank. She advised her to rededicate herself to the service of fatherland. This was contained in a congratulatory message issued on Wednesday by the minister through her director of press, Shehu Makai. She further charged the new AWO to always bear in mind that the whole community of Nigerian women are proud of her and should keep the flag flying. Peptic ulcers are open sores that develop on the inside lining of one's stomach and upper portion of one's intestine. MCL News spoke with a medical practitioner on the causes and management of ulcer. Esther Dupe completes the reports.
Stomach ulcers are a type of peptic ulcer disease that affects both the stomach and small intestines. Peptic ulcers are holes or breaks in the protective lining of the upper part of small intestines areas that come into contact with stomach ulcer. About 1 out of every 10 Nigerians suffer from the burning, gunning, abdominal pain of a peptic or gastric ulcer at some point in life. Until the mid-1980s, the conventional wisdom was that ulcers form as a result of stress. A genetic predisposition to excessive stomach acid secretion certainly plays a role in the development of ulcers. A relatively recent theory holds that a bacterial infection is the primary cause of peptic ulcer. A medical practitioner spoke on the causes of peptic ulcer.
H. pylori infection. This H. pylori infection is actually a kind of bacterial infection, gram-negative spirochete. Okay. Sometimes it's usually contagious through mother to child, or it can be contagious through fecal oral. So this organism is liable, can actually stay in the body from childhood up to adulthood. Okay. Then another possible cause is the NSAID abuse. It's a group of drugs. There's a group of drugs called the NSAIDs. Okay. Some of these drugs, some of them you can find it over the counter, you can find it in the chemist, you can find it in the markets. Okay, so let me just give an example. Something like diclofenac, ibuprofen. All these are group of drugs called the NSAID. Okay, when you abuse it, there is chances that you will develop ulcer, stomach ulcer. Okay, so another cause of this peptic ulcer disease is lifestyle. Some people, those that actually takes too much of alcohol, those that smokes a lot. Okay, those that take too much of chocolate, or maybe caffeinated drinks like Coke and all that. Okay, so there is still chances that one can actually develop peptic ulcer disease.
Lending his voice on the management of ulcer, the medical practitioner advised on the need for regular washing of hands with soap and water, as well as eating healthy foods.
Starving yourself actually will worsen your case if you have ulcer. Okay, and also alcohol on its own, and all those some things are actually mentioned. The alcohol, the smoking, and all that. Those one actually doesn't really cause ulcer per se, but it can actually worsen the symptoms of ulcer. Okay, it can actually worsen as well. The chief culprit here is actually the H. pylori infection and NSAID abuse. People should actually avoid over-the-counter medications. Because somebody might just come and complain to the chemist man, hey, please, I have this chest pain, this and that. Especially the chemist man will not prescribe diclofenac or maybe prescribe ibuprofen to the patient. That by worsening the patient's condition. Okay? And for elderly people, maybe for 60 years and above, imagine so you're not be on those drugs, thinking that that's what is going to suppress. There are chances that the patient will not develop upper GI bleeding because those people are actually the ones that are at risk of developing upper GI bleeding.
The medical practitioner also urged people to always go for medical checkup while maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Esther Ndukwe, MCL News.
News, North Korea talks going ahead despite missile tests, says Trump. Champions League, UEFA to investigate Man City, Real Madrid. Details after the break. To stay with us.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say wetin man go do for this world where people no go talk. If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, then go talk. Wetin make we do for this world? I say make we dey do the things wey we carry for heart. Na so world want am. Abi no be so?
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCLtv.
It's good to have you back. If you're just joining us, it's MCL News at 7. And on the foreign scene, United States President Donald Trump on Thursday brushed off North Korea's testing of a submarine-launched ballistic missile, saying that planned talks with Pyongyang will go ahead anyway. They want to talk and we will be talking to them, Trump told reporters at the White House in his first public reaction to North Korea's announcement of what it called a new phase in its arsenal. The test was by far the most significant since Pyongyang first began a dialogue with Washington in 2018 over pressure to give up its nuclear weapons. Analysts say the new capability marks a significant step in boosting that program. Trump says that he has no problem with a string of short-range rocket tests conducted by North Korea, calling them normal. But a proven submarine-based missile capability will take the North's arsenal to a new level, allowing deployment far beyond the Korean peninsula and a second strike capability in the event of an attack on its military bases. The North leader, Kim Jong-un, sent warm congratulations to research units involved in the launch. Kim has personally supervised recent land-based missile tests. And on sports, defending champions Nigeria has been drawn against Cote d'Ivoire, Zambia and South Africa in the first round of the 2019 Under-23 AFCON in Egypt. Football analysts described it as a fairly balanced group, with Zambia parading the top scorer in the qualifiers, Fashion Sakala, who netted 4 goals. Egypt was drawn in Group A alongside Mali, Cameroon and Ghana. The hosts will play the opening game against Mali at the Cairo International Stadium, while Nigeria will open her title defense against Cote d'Ivoire. The tournament will be played between November 8th to 22nd in Cairo, Egypt. The top 3 teams will represent Africa at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Report says that UEFA have opened disciplinary proceedings against 6 clubs, including Manchester City, Real Madrid, after incidents of Champions League games this week. Olympiacos have charged after their fans unfurled the banner that UEFA deemed to be racist in their 3-1 loss at Red Star Belgrade. They were also charged with delaying kickoff. Red Star was charged with improper conduct after 5 players, including 2 substitutes, picked up bookings. UEFA said its control, ethics and disciplinary body will meet on Friday to hear the charges against Red Star and Olympiacos, and on October 17th to look into the other 2 matches. Manchester City and Dinamo Zagreb have both been charged after their fans threw objects. The Croatian clubs were also pulled off for damaging seats at the Etihad Stadium during City's 2-0 win on Thursday. Real Madrid were charged for a late kickoff in Tuesday's 2-2 draw with Club Brugge, while the Belgian side was cited after midfielder Ruud Vormer, who was sent off after picking up a second booking, used abusive language towards a match official. And with that, we've come to the end of the news package this morning. But before we go, a look at our major stories. President Muhammad Buhari on Thursday began a visit to South Africa with a call for the protection of Nigerians and other foreign nationals living in the country. The federal government has raised concerns over reports that some beneficiaries of its 5,000 naira monthly stipends under the conditional cash transfer scheme are being shortchanged. We also told you that the Nigeria Police Force says that it will be reducing the misuse of firearms by officers and will rather acquire electromuscular disruption technology-based weaponry, popularly known as TASA or stun guns. And in sports, defending champion Nigeria has been drawn against Cote d'Ivoire, Zambia and South Africa in the first round of the 2019 Under-23 AFCON in Egypt. That was the news. Thanks for watching. Please do join us again by 8 a.m. for Good Morning Abia. I am Izzy Nwafo. Once again, good morning.
the word in your home.
With one voice, we're a nation undivided and poised. We will take us down.
When you think of your father, what are the pictures you see and what the words you hear?
Well, one of the things that keeps repeating in my mind is just something he said all of the time. Jesus is Lord, and it was a declaration of him saying that, you know, Jesus is the owner of everything here.
Hello and welcome to TPI. I'm your host, Muyiwa. Thank you for trusting us with 30 minutes of your day. I promise once this program is over, you won't regret the time you spent with us. Speaking of time, Erica Linney is going to spend the next minute encouraging you with a special message. Erica.
Thanks, Muyiwa. For the past few months, Jonathan McReynolds has been on repeat on my playlist. He has a song called Make Room, and the first verse says, I find space for what I treasure, and I make time for what I want. I choose my priorities, and Jesus, you're my number one. We know where we stand with God. Scriptures outline how much God loves us, that we're the apple of his eye, that his thoughts towards us outnumber the sand. But the question is, where does God stand with us? There's so many things competing for that number one space in our hearts. Money, success, jobs, social media. And there's nothing wrong with any of those things as long as it's in its rightful place. Jesus desires to be the apple of your eye and for your thoughts to be towards him. And that he had the number one place in your heart. That's the whole reason why he died, so that he can have relationship with you. So I encourage you, invest time with God because the returns are divine. Muyiwa, back to you.
Thanks, Erica. Up next, the reports on drowning say that it's the third leading cause of unintentional death worldwide. Well, the 16-month-old child in our next story became subject of every parent's nightmare. She fell into the pool and remained underwater for 10 excruciating minutes. Take a look.
Nora Lenny vividly remembers the morning of August 19th, 2016.
I noticed that it had gone quiet. When it goes quiet and you have a toddler in the house, something's not right.
She was going through her morning routine while her husband Patrick was meeting with a handyman. Then, Nora realized her 16-month-old daughter, Ariella, was nowhere to be found.
Just ran around looking for her, calling her.